Greetings, Grace Covenant, on this second Friday in Lent. It's been a while since I've greeted you from my backyard, but I was getting connected with the earth today, first in a hike with the dog and then with taking care of the chickens. And I happened to check in on Facebook, and a memory popped up. Hard to believe I've been in this house now over 6 years. It's by all accounts almost a tiny home, which was a challenge for space when I arrived here, but it was where I felt called to be as I continue to think about having less of a footprint on the earth. And one of the pictures that showed up in Facebook for me was a memory that I took a picture looking out my kitchen window. 6 years ago today, the ground was covered with snow. It was just blanketed everywhere. It was a heavy snow. And the picture from my kitchen window was of the evergreens that were just laden with snow, and it was beautiful. I even joked that I felt like walking out of my house was like stepping into Narnia through the wardrobe. It was just so magical. And we get snows like that every once in a while, and I love that feeling. But what it reminded me of is how much I actually loved that one specific tree outside my kitchen window and the thick undergrowth of the backyard living on a mountain. All that's changed. That tree is no longer here, as well as a number of other trees are missing. You can even see a huge stump up there by the chicken coop. As I have grown to live in this space, there have been changes. That kitchen window has now become a door, and it extends onto a deck and some living space. Trees had to be removed for construction. A few trees had to be removed because they were dead or dying and hanging over the house. And I look out on a very different landscape. And one, I'm reminded of how fortunate I am to be able to engage in this kind of activity and to enjoy working in the yard and engaging with the earth. But I also grieve that those trees had to leave. And it kind of makes me sad. And one of the things that I have committed myself to doing is replacing the indigenous plants on this property. Many of the things that had to be removed in order for construction to begin, in order for the house to be safer. So I'm starting over. I do have a few evergreens you can see in the background, a few things I'm starting to put in the yard as my moral commitment to give back to the earth. I think we are called to do that, to not just consume, but to give back. And I was focusing on the hymn that will be sung on Sunday, which is For the Beauty of the Earth. And I was also thinking about one of the hymns in Glory to God, whose first stanza reads like this: touch the earth lightly, use the earth gently, nourish the life of the world in our care. Gift of great wonder, ours to surrender. Trust for the children tomorrow will bear. We have abundant resources, Grace Covenant, and God has entrusted us to care for them. Even as we care for ourselves and care for our neighbor, we need to look out and care for the earth. So I would encourage you today to think about your footprint on this earth, especially since we're all living at home, and for many, gardening has become important. But as we take away from the earth, let's be reminded that we also need to give. Even now, I'm standing in the rain, realizing that the rain replenishes the earth in great ways. And I'm reminded of our ongoing responsibility to care for God's creation. So I hope you will join me, and I hope you will pray for me as I continue to try and replenish this space and give back. And as always, Stay safe, stay connected, stay home if you can, and know that we at Grace Covenant love you and are here for you. Thanks be to God.